young people will be maybe dancing, under the moon and, the traditional
Yeah.
dance and so many stuff. Or if there is no traditional dance because they don't have too much hobbies, uh, they will come, sit there and listen maybe to adults about stories about our ancestors, how like to pass them some good principles for the life to keep the value of the society, for them to grow properly. And how do they send their children to school? Yes, because now with the modern life, we have schools, but not as many as in towns. You see children going to school. We have bad roads. Don't forget that, which means that there is no transportation for you going to school. But kids will walk maybe 2, 3, or 5 miles going to school. They will go, but most of the time also, especially the girls, they quit. They quit earlier because they are already tired going, walking 5 miles. And when they come back, they have to go maybe follow their mothers who went to the farm to help them get firewood and so many stuff. And when they come back, there is work to do. They have to cook, which means that they don't have enough time to study, to do their homework. And most of the time they quit. But now people are pushing both boys and girls to go to school and get at least a degree when it's
Yeah.
normal time.
On average, what education level do the children get? Do they complete a grade and then go to work to a farm, or are there universities? Are there what education level do they normally get?
We have education up to the universities, normally to get a good degree and go and work. But because of the condition, especially now, no. When we do an assessment, I think that we can go only up to 3%, I think, of people doing university, because in our country we have to pay. Really, from the crèche up to university, you pay for you don't have this credit that you have like up here. You can get a loan from the government to go. No, we don't have that. You have
Really?
to, yeah, we have to pay.
Though it's cheap, though it's cheap in terms of comparing the university fees down there and in the developed countries, it's very cheap. But then it depends also on the level of the life of the society.
Yeah.
For example, in Congo, an average salary of a teacher is just $60 Eve.
$60
Yes.
in a month, which you told me I think you can afford with
Three
Maybe
bags of meal or
10
of
kgs
rice.
of meal or
What is that?
3 bags of rice. That's what you work for a month to buy. So that doesn't include anything else. No health care, no clothing, no.
Nothing.
Is
So.
that what you
And
get?
you still have children to bring
And you have
to send to
children,
school.
yes.
You have a wife and.
On average, from what I understood, it's funny to me because, before I really knew about Congo, I really assumed that it was, you have no idea. You think of Africa, you still think of wild animals running around and people maybe wearing tribal clothing, painted faces. We don't know. Just like I come from Ukraine, and a lot of people, Ukraine, isn't it always cold out there? So people have no idea because they've never traveled, and there's so little education about other countries in the world. In America, America is very self-absorbed, I believe. It's all about American culture, American this, American that. So many people have no idea about other cultures. In normal, peaceful times. You showed me some pictures. I hope that we're also going to be able to present some photography to our viewers. But from what I've seen, it's beautiful handmade clothing. Women wear dresses and some headpieces, and kids wear T-shirts and shorts. And the houses are small and humble, but still not like a hut, you know, made of straw. You know what I mean? What is a normal family life, let's say, from morning to evening, just so we could understand an average person, which is obviously not too rich, not too wealthy. It's probably pretty poor.
Let's say poor.
Poor, okay. What is an average life? Let's say husband, how many kids? What does a wife do? What does a husband do?
You know, in Africa, in general, we have big families. It's difficult to find African families with just one kid or two children. No, we'll find families with 10 children, 12 children, 8. Now, we feel that the young couples, you know, because of the situation, the economy, you know, they are trying to restrain themselves.
Yeah,
You find families of 4.
So that's like a small
6,
family.
yeah,
4
now.
kids is like a small family.
Yes, yes. But what do they do? In normal life, normal time, you find teachers, you find nurses, you find lecturers in the universities, you find also officials working in the government. You find also business people doing the small, you know, activities. Most of the time, in the villages again, Daniel could say something about the cities or the town. In the villages, most of the activities are just the farming. You
Farming.
have the farming and sometimes hunting or fishing. It depends.
To attain food for the
Yes,
family.
yeah. And they wake up in the morning. Yeah, the first thing, especially for the women, is to go to a spring somewhere or to the river to wash this and that, to wash themselves.
So obviously there's no plumbing. There's no like
No, no,
shower,
no.
toilet.
We don't have that.
You don't have, okay.
No, no,
But in
no.
the cities probably you do. In the big cities.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the cities.
But like villages,
no.
okay.
In the villages, you know, they have their own lifestyle. There is no plumbing. They have to go to a river for, you know, for washing, for
We're
when
so
they need
spoiled.
water.
We are
Yeah.
so, you know, civilized countries in that sense are super spoiled.
And they don't
you know?
realize it, unfortunately.
And
Yes,
we will
it's
always
true.
say, you know, you are just in your house, you turn and you go to the kitchen, you have water, you know, you have everything around you.
Yeah.
And we will always say, look, you are blessed, at least don't take it for granted.
Correct.
Give thanks to God. Even
How many
for
people do
that
that,
glass
actually?
of
Yeah.
water, because
Yes.
many women still today have to walk miles to go and get clean water for the family,
That's,
or get firewood for, you know, to come and cook. Then in the morning, most of the time they do that. They sweep the yard, the backyard. They try to organize the little house. It's neat, it's clean. They do, really. And then they come, they organize breakfast. Which kind of breakfast? Now it depends. Most of the time is the product of the farm. Because nowadays you find bread also in the villages, but most of the time you'll find that is expensive, which means that will go for their farm products. Is better for them and have a little bit more for their kids. They organize and then they are gone. They go to the farm for almost the whole day. If the husband goes also to hunt or to fish, it's almost also for the whole day. If it's somebody doing maybe, you know, selling some stuff, he will also do the same. If the kids have to go to school, they will also go. They know at what time they come back. The boys maybe will follow their father, the girls will follow their mother, and so on. Then it's every day like that, especially in the villages. In town, in normal life.
Yeah, you know, It's like in every other city in the world, you know. Though they are not good roads, you find a quite good number of vehicles, even modern vehicles. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes you are surprised in Kinshasa, you see very bad roads.
Kinshasa is the capital
Yeah, the
of
capital.
DRC.
But you find people with terrible cars, you know, very expensive cars. You name
No
it,
road, but an
Infinity.
expensive car.
I'm telling you, yeah, Infinity. Talk about name it. Then we say, well, what's going on? Indeed, there are people with money, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's a tiny group of people. Only God knows how it works. In general, yeah, in the morning, them in the city they can afford a bread. You know,
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
afford milk.
Yeah.
The children can afford to get some money and go to school in the
Yeah.
morning, or they are dropped at school by their parents with nice
Yeah.
cars, especially those who are in the government
Yeah.
and the very few in businesses. They're doing well, and it's only when there is a striking crisis that you feel maybe a change of lifestyle. In general, products are very expensive because we depend on import of almost everything, you know. And for food, we need again roads to bring the food from villages to the cities. That's why, because of lack of roads, lifestyle is very expensive. And because we don't have enough import, or it is controlled by a certain cartel, it's still a problem. That's where, you know, we'll have chance to talk about the opportunities that Americans can use, you know, can utilize, you know, to really tap into the Congolese market.
Because from you know, talking to you many times for many hours, I did realize that there is such an untapped potential there's a huge market. I mean, a quarter population of the United States is a market.
Yes, terrible.
And it's a market that is right now being abused, unused, and you know, it's just there's so much to create. And anybody who already has the money to invest, they should really look into this. But again, this is for another show. So to summarize what I understand about Congo, it truly, it probably came from Africa. It takes a village to raise a child. It's a saying that it takes a whole village to raise one child. And this is a philosophy that I think in America has been abandoned. And that is why we see kids today that are completely lost. They are lost. They've lost touch with their inner self,
yeah.
with their, you know, who they are. They completely lost respect for parents, for society, for everything. But again, that's a whole other show. But from what I see, that the quality of the people, even you know, after talking to you, you have a certain quality about you that
You.
it is so rare to see here in America. You know, given that I myself I'm a foreigner, you know, I understand, I can relate to you on that level where a whole community, everybody knows one another. It's not like you live in a building and nobody knows anybody. You know what I mean? Where I come from a community where, you know, this grandma gives the other grandma eggs, and that one gives her a sweater for her grandchild, and that one gives milk, and they help each other because they're all poor, but they all are happy because they have each other. And this is something that is completely lacking in big cities and especially in America, right?
Yeah, it's true. Even please, just to complete you, we saw when passing through 14th Street, in Manhattan, we saw a group of young people, girls and boys, asking people just to hug them. And Americans do not understand that. Maybe didn't really pick up that gesture.
Yeah.
When we realized it, Sister Amelie and I, we said, look, these people are aiming at something.
Yeah.
Building relationship.
Yeah.
Making somebody happy. Just by hugging you. Showing you that, look, you still have somebody who can love you.
Yes.
You know, these are the things that we can develop in the society, and you will see that expanding it, people will start discovering the value in the other or in the neighbor.
Yeah.
And they live together, you know, and peacefully.
So now, you know, now that the viewers have a somewhat of an understanding that in Congo people do not wear tribal clothing and do not, you know, run around with you know,
Arrows.
yeah, arrows, you know, that it's a civilized society, even though lacking technology or lacking plumbing or lacking certain comfort zone, you know, comfort objects or items or elements that we are here are actually used to and take completely for granted.